Follow the channel and stay tuned for learning videos.
So I was showing this diagram actually. So in this diagram, if you see what it will have the basic info, what is JavaScript, how JavaScript works, what are the events, everything. I just mentioning. I was just recapping. So if you see here, so whenever user do some action, we will have the events for that, right? So if you have any JavaScript function, it will execute, it will do the show and hide fields like that. It will do the operation. So to execute any JavaScript function, we should know when to execute, where to execute, what to execute. In the way, when to execute means, is it on load, on change, on save like that. Where to execute means, is it on which entity you want to execute? Entity you want to execute on form, or you want to execute on the view like that. And what to execute let's on the business logic, whatever you want to JavaScript. So any JavaScript function you will be writing like this only. So any JavaScript function, it will be in this format only. Function. This is the standard function keyword. Then you will write the name, your JavaScript function name. So it could be anything. Then closed open parenthesis. Then curly braces. So any JavaScript function, it will be in this format only. Function keyword. This is the function name, and this will be the closed open. So suppose in yesterday we have seen some JavaScript function. Record opened. These are the alerts we have tried yesterday. Okay. So for that one, what we did, we just used the new solution, JavaScript solution. We just added a web resource, everything. Okay. I will just show that. So for any JavaScript function, it won't direct, we can't add it in the form. So if you see here, this is the solution which I created yesterday. We will create a library that is nothing but a web resource. We will add that web resource to the form. Why do we need a library? First of all. So suppose if you will have a number of functions, right? So some first function you want to execute on a different event, second function you want to execute a different event. But in the entire web resource library, you will be having the all functions 1, 2, 3 like that. Based upon your need, you will be using it. Suppose if you see this one, LUT first JS, this is the web resource. In the single web resource, I am having onload case. This event is there. Then I have my JS function, right? So in a single web resource, you can have multiple functions. So instead of creating a web resource for each function, we are combining all functions into a single file. Then we are calling that as a web resource. So to call individual function, we have to attach it to event, right? So that attached to event, we will be doing at the form level. Now if you see here, yesterday we were using enhanced full case form. So in the enhanced full case form, we have to attach the event, right? Suppose this is the event. So in this onload, I just kept my JS function. So what is the event type? It is onload. I have chosen. Then library. So what is the library? We have this web resource, right? That is the library. So from that library, you have to give you may have multiple functions in this library, right? So you have to give the specific which one you have to execute. So in this myJS function, as I just given common function inside it, I have common alert, common confirmation dialog, common prompt, right? So I'm not passing any execution context. So basically, execution context is whenever you want to pass this current form control, so you have to pass the execution context. Now, if you see, I have one more event, this answer event onload of case. This is also my first case library. I'm using onload case, and for this one, I haven't checked it. So if I do save, it is getting error. Why? Because this is not cannot read properties of some. So if you see here, I am not passing the execution context, still I'm referring it in the function. So that's why it is giving error. So if I pass it, I won't get that error anymore. Okay. So you can listen that recording, you will understand complete. We just introduced to what is execution context, everything. Okay. So with this execution context, we will get the complete control of form, CRM forms. Okay. Now, if I go to this execution context Microsoft document, we will have some tree diagram here to show that. See, for execution context, we should have 1 second. Mhm. Mhm. So if you see here, for the form context, you are getting data, you are getting UI control. Data means you are getting the entity information. Again, under entity, you will have the attributes. Again, attribute, you have the control. For the process means business process, stages, steps. And if you see the UI, you are getting the form control, kick form, navigation, everything, right? Similarly, so this form context, we are deriving from the execution context. Okay, client API execution context. I think we don't have any diagram, but we should have. But if you see here, grid context also we will be getting a kind of grid control. So under execution context, you will be getting these three. So what are the three contexts you will be getting? Form context you will be getting, grid context you are getting, XML object you will be getting. Okay. So to extend thing with once you have this form context, what you can do? If you have two kind of actions you can perform. One is UI kind of controlling the UI thing like tabs, sections controlling. The other thing is data modification. If you want to do data modifications, you can do the data modifications. Okay. So if you see, we just updated this, right? If I click on save, the changes to whenever you make JavaScript changes to reflect thing, you say you have to do the you have to get the latest. So you have to do the what do you mean? You have to clear the cookie, cache and cookies. Still I'm getting, so I will do this refresh with developer tools. So how do you do? Right click on empty cache, hot reload. Record opened. see if we see case loaded sample. So the sample, whatever it is case title, right? This case title, I am pulling it from the form. Under form context, I'm getting the get attribute title and I'm pulling it. So what is the title for me? This title. If you see here this title, right? So whatever you have it in the title, it will be loaded. So case sample is my title. So that is added. So like that you can get retrieve the data. You can use it for anything. Okay. Now to extend this, now suppose you can work on any custom entity or existing entity. You can create a new entity or anything. So we have all these options, right? Like attributes, you can get control of attributes, you can get the control of stages, everything, right? So today we will be focusing on the only this entity attributes. So what we can do with this, okay? So if you see here in the attributes, you can select the attributes, you can select the entity, right? So if you go here, you can get the entity, right? If you get the entity, you will have the event add on save, get entity name, get entity reference, get ID, get history, like everything you will have too many. Okay. So let's go back to our chat GPT. We will explore few methods. Okay. Give example for JavaScript functions to work with form context practice on out of the box case entity. So what I'm giving, so I just want to, you can work on any new entity, you can create a scenario. Okay. So to make sure using existing entity, I'm just giving the prompt like give example for JavaScript functions to work with form context practice on an out of the box case entity in D6 way. So it will give you some scenarios automatically. Let's try them only. So you can also randomly try what. Okay. So let's go back to form. Suppose so this title, whenever it is saved, I want to append with the logged in user name, suppose. So this is my name, right? I want to append it. So how can we append it? So let's consider that is a scenario. So to create that a function, what we need to do, we are give the first function name, right? So you can give any some name, but it should be meaningful. So appending case title. Like that you can give a start functional business function. You can keep that name such as it should represent that whatever you are doing going to do in that function. So appending case title. So to work with CRM attributes or CRM form, you have to pass execution context, right? So you have to pass this execution context. Okay. Then to get the control on this attributes, right? So you have to get the form context. So how do you get the form context? This is a standard lines you will be using in all methods. Okay. Now, once you got thing, what I want to do, I want to append the title, right? So for any background operations, while in the Power Automate or JavaScript, we said we will be using these schema names, right? So first you have to retrieve it before appending it. Okay. So how will I retrieve this with this case title? Okay. Then appending means you want to add it. For case thing, you have to give some space or anything. You want to add the name, right? So for that purpose, what you have to give, you have to append it and you have to set the value, right, to save it in the CRM side. So same like get value, we will be having set value. Okay. So you should tell, right, what value it has to be stored. So from the form context, you are getting the get attribute control. Then you want to set, you're setting the value. Now you have to define, right, what you have to, what value you have to set it. So what I'm doing, I'm just using the case title, whatever I got earlier, and control V plus I want to append something, right? So I'm doing plus. Then here I am giving space hyphen LT admin. So I am doing this assignment because I'm here we are, it is returning some value, but you are setting value means it won't return anything. So here what you are doing, form context, you are returning the form context from the execution context. Then you are returning the field value from this get value method. Then you are setting the value with by passing this case title, whatever it is there already, plus LT admin prefix. Okay. So now what you want to do, you want to save this value, right? You are doing set, you are setting some value. Then you have to do the set, right? Okay. For saving the record to CRM form, we will have the form context data entity save. Okay. So if you see, these are the notifications, attribute set value. So we will have form context. So what it will do, whatever the modifications you are making so far in this function, those will be saved to server with this data.entity save. Okay. So I'm just adding this my function to the existing library. So this is my library, right? So I am keeping the folder function as is, adding this is on the top. So make sure you shouldn't get any error. Okay. You shouldn't miss any this open crazy braces or syntax errors. Okay. Clicking on save. So I have to publish my file. So to you, I just updated the library. To use that function, whatever I created in the library, I have to configure the event. I have to define it when it has to execute. So for that purpose, I am going to this form. Okay. In this form, I have already onload event, on save event. But I want to try it different today. I don't want to try it on the onload and unsave. I want to try it on some other event which we have. So at form level, you will have two kinds of event, onload, on save. But if you go to field level, you have you will have an event. If you go to tab level, you will have an event. Okay, let's try that today. Let it open. It is taking this much time. So meanwhile, let me check whether it is working still or not. So get field value. Yesterday only we have seen title. Set field value. Title. Set value. New case created. button on load or an event, show notifications, clear notification, disable a field, hide a field. So these are the basic things we will do with the form context. So to get the form context, to get that field information, we are using form context or get attribute, right? Setting in the values or getting the value. For the form notification, we are using form context.ui, not form context.get attribute. So this will appear in the design only, the form only. So clear notification, you are clearing whatever you have it. Okay. Then for the disabling field, again it's a field, right? So you have to get the control of the field. You have to use get control, then click on title, hide a field. So you have to get a control of the field, then you have to hide it. Make field mandatory, making business mandatory. We will be using that. Get required, get attribute, then set required label, get option set value. So these are the basic functions we will be having. Customer lookup, auto populated description, save form using JavaScript. We were just use the right form context dot entity save. That is okay. Now why it's not loading? So for JavaScript event, you will be working with the form designer, whatever we are seeing this, right? This only. So me go for another table. Otherwise, I don't know whether it is issue with the table or network. So let me create a new solution and use my custom entity. So we have some other table. We have some other website. I will be trying to use them. Bank application or anything. Let's load it. So here on form, we will find the default this, right? So suppose if you want to click on this detail tab. So for this tab also you can have event whenever tab change. So let me use this tab change. So what is my library? First yes, and what is the function I want to execute? Appending case title, right? So I want to pass execution context because I need control of the CRM things. Passing it. Save and publish. I just did it. Also to get the latest changes, I have to do is cache hard reload. So what is my event now? To test it, I have to change the tab on tab state change. So this is the details tab, right? So you have to click or you need to do switching the tab. You have to do this activity. Okay. Okay. This is the onload event by default we are getting every time. Now we have tab state event, right? So on switching from details tab to some other tab, it is getting case loaded, case sample, LT admin. That's what we have written, right? So whatever you have it in the title, you will getting the title plus it will be appending the LT admin. So likewise, you can have any event or hardly we have 4 or 5 events. One is form load, form save, then tab change, and for each individual field level also you can have an event like on change of end customer, on change of title, like that. Okay. Now let's explore the other functions whatever we have. So we just seen title, right? Now I will explore what is this form notification, showing a notification, how will it behave. So I am just copying as it is. So instead of this existing, I have to add the one more, right? So if you see here also they are passing the execution context, getting the form context, and the form they are setting the notification. Okay. So copy this, put it in your library. This is my library. JavaScript. Go to web resource, update the code. Either you can add beginning or ending, anything is fine, but no, without no errors. I did it, save. Then we have to publish the web resource. Then we have to bind the event. So to bind the event, again you have to go to form, right? So come to form. Now what I will do, I will be putting on this priority field. Earlier we have seen form on load, form on save. Now tab change also we have seen. Now I will be doing the event on this event on the field level. So what is my library? First is what's my function name? Show notification, right? So whenever you do anything on this field, it will show the notification. So that's the logic we written. So what does that mean? You can your logic should support like that. You can bend it anywhere. You can bend it to tab state change. You can bend it to field type change. You can bend it to on load, on save. To support like that, you should pass execution context only. Suppose within this show notification also, I can have one more internal method like one more. I can call this addition. So where I am passing the title and title only. Okay. To define this addition function, I will be defining in the same library like function addition. Okay. I can have this kind of case title. So if I write this logic, so to work this logic, I have to call show notification only because with the show notification only, I will get the execution context. So if I add directly addition to my addition to the library like this here in this event handler, will it work? No, because it is expecting this kind of inputs and you can't do anything as you are not passing the execution context. So always try to keep execution context as a parameter, do operation in this function only. Okay. So I just we did it. I'm just doing save and publish. So when it will trigger on priority field whenever you do on change. So let me do a refresh with cache clearing. Okay, what is my field to test it out? So priority, right? Let's assume they are changing the priority. They are modifying the priority type field. Here it is. Mhm. Where is the priority column? See why? Is there, right? Under origin, you have priority. Why it's not showing priority? Do you have any business rule? God mode. See, every time I'm doing tab shell switch, it is appending a sample at the LT admin title plus alt admin. It is appending if you see. No, 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 no. You are in the enhanceable case only. Enhanced under origin product serial number, product serial number, product serial number. Under origin, we have entitlement. But we should, I think, do we have any business rule? No business rule. From where it is ID. Let me check the business rules for them for this form. Business rules. We don't have any business rule. Why it is heading? Label, height label. It's showing height label. Nothing. Okay. That's fine. We will keep it in the on load for time being. So our main intention is to test the set new UI notification, right? So I'm just calling the event from onload. Event handler. What is my method name? Show notifications. Pass execution context. Done. Save and publish. Now after publish, I have to do a refresh. Empty cache or reload. This is default onload. See, you got this is the notification high priority case. You kept it on the unload, right? So directly it is loading whenever you open the record. High priority case. Okay, you are not checking any conditions here. That's why it is show. It will show for every form. If every case, if you open some other case also, it will show because you don't have any logic to control it. You are not checking any case ID or anything. So for every case, it will show. So if I open some other case as well. Earlier we were opening case IP, right? Suppose if you open this one also, this onload event will occur because this is also no condition. So like this. So as long as you kept as a common generic, it will work for every record. To make sure to work for specific record, that time you have to keep control. Okay. Getting set form notification, get field value, set field value. Then if you go further, what we have clear notification. So whatever the uncertain condition you want to clear this message. So you can use being clear form notification, like same like set form notification. Then disable a field. So basically disable a field means if you see suppose you don't want to change this values by user. So in such scenarios, you can use this disable control. So for that purpose, you will be getting the control, you will be set disable true. You will have set disable false means user can modify the data like that. Okay, so let's see this. I am directly copy pasting here. Where is my library? Okay, title. I'm using existing field only, set type. Save it. So when do you want to run? You just added a new logic. But when do you want to run it? So suppose if I want to run it on the onload, let's add the event here itself. Onload. So what's my function name? What's the function name? We
So
have it in
notification.
disable title and show notification earlier.
So,
Disable title, path execution context. Okay, done it. So to reflect the changes every time, I have to do the empty cache hard reload. I'm just opening all cases view, opening the any other. So by default, you will have onload event that will trigger all alert confirmation dialog, prompt dialog. Then it will show the form notification. Then what else we have? We are setting the disable, right? So earlier the title used to be you are able to change it. So disable means it will disable for editing. It will disable for user. Suppose on certain conditions, if you want to disable the title, you will be using this get control set disabled. Okay. You will be using getting control of the field. You will be setting disabled. Okay. Like this, we will be using the set disabled truth. We will have set disabled false. False means you are unlocking it. Similarly, we have hide field. You want to hide any description field. So by default, we are having this description field. So if you want to hide that field completely, you have to get the control of that fields. You have to set visible true. Field mandatory. So I just want you to try all these on your own. I'm just keeping here everything at once.
But all this we can do by business rules also, right?
Yes, good question. Actually, I was waiting for this question. So why we are not doing with business unit? Why we are coming to so one thing, how many actions we can do with business rules?
Maybe 5 to 6 cents.
So if you see the actions if you do in the business units, do you able to set the lookup fields? Did you see that? Were you able to set the lookup fields? No, right? So, but here you can set anything, any field, or you can set it. You can set it. You can set the another entity field also, not only this entity. You can from the JavaScript as it is a custom code, right? You can work with all the related entities, the linked entities as well, not only current entity. But in the business rules, you can work with only the whatever the entity it is there. And for the business entity, we have hide field is there, disable field notification is there. But do you have hide tab, show tab in the business rules? Show or hiding tab. Do you able to do it with the business rule?
no. So,
But
Harish, sorry to stop you. So we cannot run these rules by using business rule, right? We cannot hide the path.
yes. So in the business unit level, you can do it at a single field level only. For every field, you have to write a rule and you have to create it. But suppose if I don't use this attachment tab, I can directly hide it with the
In
complete. Okay.
single business rule, how many conditions can add? Harish?
In business rule,
How many conditions?
we can add multiple. There is, I think we have some limitation, but the number is big only 256 or 512 or something.
Okay.
But in the Java, so the limitation with business rule, like we can't update the lookup fields. we can't do the calculation, and we can't do the complete hiding of tab or any control. But with this, all whatever the limitations we are having the business rules, we will be using more effectively in the with JavaScript. So you will be, as you will be having the complete control, right? So you will be hiding,
Mm.
showing everything. Okay. So if you see here,
So business rules work only with fields. Business,
yes, work
right?
only fill with limited options.
It will not work tabs and section.
Sorry.
Business will not work tabs and section.
Yes. No, no, it can't hide it. It will work means it can't get control of tab. You can get the
Um,
control of each field and you have to hide it. Then the tab will be showing empty. Okay.
okay.
So if I see here, I'm just replacing the hide details tab name. Set disable. False means it shouldn't visible, right? Set disable true means it should be visible. So I'm updating the library. So most of the will people say like whatever the limitations we have it for business rules, we will be using the JavaScript. It has too many other capabilities. So whatever the things you are unable to achieve with business rules, you will be achieving with JavaScript. That is for definitely, because this is custom coding, right? You will have complete control. You can do whatever the logic you want to build. But with business rules, you can use whatever it's there, whatever the options it is giving, you can just use it. Now, if you see, attachments is showing for me till now. I want to hide complete tab itself. I can do it with business rule, but if you try to do it with business rules, first of all, you don't have option to. Whenever you choose show and hide in the business rule, it will ask you to select the field only. Okay, let me show. It will ask to show and field only. It won't give the option. Okay, what is my name? Hide details tab. Name you can have anything, no restrictions. Save and publish. So if it is something basic and you have it in the business rule, you will be using business rule. Suppose if you want to do extend, you will be okay. Save and publish. Doing hard refresh to reflect my changes. So now it is showing attachments, right? I just added a script on the load to hide it. So now if you see, do you see attachment tab? No, because we added a script on the load of the form what to happen. So that is nothing but a hide details tab. Okay, like this we can hide it. Suppose if you want to hide the same hide operation with business rule. First of all, business rules will can hide only fields. It can't hide entire tab. So you have to do hide for individual thing. Like if you see under attachment, you have all this, right? So here you don't have any field, you have grid. For grid, you won't get a control event. So here if you click on, it will say show and hide field of visibility. If I choose here, it will give the list of the fields, whatever fields only it will give. But here, what I have here, I have this attachment subgrid. Is it appearing here, attachment subgrid? Do you see in the attachment subgrid? You can't do it. So that kind of doing hiding the subgrids or tabs complete, you can't do it. Suppose you don't have any subgrid, you have 4 or 5 fields in this tab. In that case, also if you hide it, the tab will be showing on top, even though you are hiding all the fields which are present in this. So again, it will be confusing for the user, right? Attachment tab is showing not rendering any fields means they will confuse. So we can't hide completely with business rule. Okay, so like that, whatever you are unable to do here, definitely you can do it with JavaScript for the client side validation. All and same way, whatever you are doing here, everything you can do it with JavaScript. JavaScript is like an extra subset of not subset of business rules. Business rules is a subset of JavaScript, the capabilities I'm talking about. Okay, any questions? So we can do this height. So far whatever we are doing, we are not doing any control. So hide tab based upon the priority. Priority is some other field. So based upon that field, we can hide it. So like that we can have conditions. Whenever high priority is there, you can hide it. Show hide tab dynamically based upon some other value. So title contains complaint. You are hiding set visible true. Otherwise you are hiding it. So like this, you can use the form fields information and you can have a business control. You can, instead of plain show and hide like that, you can set some condition with if condition. You can keep your action here like that. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So instead of case entity, we have some other entities we created, right? You can use your own entity. You can build logic. Today also I will give some good assignment to try everything. I will create some custom application only, custom tables and custom application. On that one you can try. Okay. Any questions? Are you able to follow first of all? Is it like overloading for you guys?
It's okay only.
Hmm. So see, so far what we have seen, we just creating the show and this getting the control, right? Similarly, you can get the control of business process flows. Okay, so in some example, we did business process flow, right? Business process flow means you will have stages, you will have the fields, everything, right? So you can get the control of business process flows as well. If you see here, do I have business process for this one? We created for loan details, huh? For which entity we created business process flow, BPF credit card. I not sure, 1 second. We tried in some example, right? 15 is the latest, 27 is the latest. More info. 27 is the latest. Yeah, if you see, this is the business process flow. We have information, documentation, everything, right? So on setting some value, if you want to set, if you want to move the stage dynamically instead of manual, usually to click on next stage, we have to click on the next stage, right? But if you want to move the stage automatically, also you can do it with BPF. So JavaScript examples for BPF on my custom entity. So I will I will use this custom entity details as well. So to give them more effectively. So what is custom entity? How do we get the entity name? How can we get the entity name? We can click on this view navigation forms open record web API. This is the entity name, right? Entity plural. I'm just removing. Then I have to give the stages information as well, right? So just give the stage below or my stages in BPF. So if you try the assignment, whatever it will give in this also, it will give everything. Even I am giving the steps what we need to do. But if you want to structure anywhere also, based on our screenshot, the BPF stage of this information document. Here are some practical. So here if you see stage, it is getting the active stage, get name, current stage, alert, move to next stage. It is getting the get form. So it is in this function, move to next stage, unable to move next. Let's try this. Okay. This is very common, right? Getting the end, we are showing alert ways in multiple. So here we will just combine otherwise these two methods. So what I want to do, I want to show the current stage and I want to do the move. So I'm just copy pasting this value. Form context is already there. So I'm just getting the get active stage, current active stage. Then I want to show alert. Thus I will piece this null check everything. So this is a good practice. You can directly do the alert stage name, but sometimes if you get the control, if you don't get the control, you will get error, right? So we should check always null. We should have always null scenarios. So here I'm just using if stage null. Then after that I'm moving to the next stage. So this is my entire function. I just combined two functions into one logic. You can write whatever you need. It's not necessary like for every time you have to have a individual functions. You can combine all functions into a single function and you can call that single function on the load itself. We have multiple on load, right? All are on load event, I can combine all those into single function. So that's the motive I want to say. So here, what's the name? First, I have to update the library, right? Go back to library, library source. Go here. Updating, save. Publish done. Come here. Set here. What is my so instead of on load, I just want to click on save. Oh, by the way, we are not on the lead this entity. We should work on this entity, right? So go back, add that entity. I don't want to save anything. Cancel. Click on back. So add existing entity. Table loan details. So when do you want to do this? Whenever you want to click on some save, let's assume. So loan details. Open forms. Information form. Event. You don't have any event. You don't have any library. So first, what we need to make sure we have a library for us. So I just want to update it here, right? So you can use same library across multiple entities. So I'm adding same library. Okay. Then I have my library. Then I have to create a function, right? So what's my function name? Move to next stage. When it will trigger, I want to trigger an on save. Choose on save. You have to pass execution context because you are using execution context. You are getting control. Select it. Done. Now save and publish. So what you did, you created a new method in the same library, attached library to your form. Then you have attached the event. Now let's refresh this record. Meanwhile, it's published. So when is my triggering point for my JavaScript function? When it will trigger?
On save.
Okay. So I'm clicking save. It's not triggering. Maybe refresh is showing. Let me do the refresh. Check current stage information. Now it is showing the information. So it is going in a loop. Move to next stage. Move to next stage. Why it is coming two times? Let's see. Maybe because of. So it is saved, right? And also move to the next stage. So you are doing dynamically. You are not doing anything. Okay. So these are going in a loop because of some logic issue. But you have to handle that in the with your code. For every change, for every CRM change, it will change the unsave, right? Save event, right? So that is why it is happening. Keep on hitting. So you have to set some condition, meaningful condition, whenever some field check or whenever stage null and something field check or some more precise conditions we keep, it will work. Okay. So like this, we can get the control of BPF stage. You can move the stage, move to previous stage. Suppose they have filled some wrong information. Whenever they fill the wrong information, you have to move to previous stage. You can move it. You can pull the active process name, execute logic based on the current stage. If the stage name equal to something, if you want to do anything like this, you can do all this operation. Okay. So just create different entities and try to work on these scenarios, all these scenarios. Okay. So with this form context, what we can do so far, we are able to do. We just tried this, right? Data piece, attributes, controls. How can we get the controls? How can we do anything? Similarly, we have seen the navigation. We are showing hiding tab. We can add individual section also. We are getting the controls from the fields like that. So from the BPFs also we are getting the stage. We are getting the steps details. We are doing so. Everything is available under form context. Suppose if you have a grid also you will have similar kind of control. You can have the buttons, everything, right? So what you want to do whenever you want to do, whenever you click on the subgrid, what you want to do whenever you select a row, like that you can have a events. Okay. Okay. So it is into last stage, I guess. So that's why it's able to move. So try this, come with questions, we can explore. Okay. If I simply say you will get a limited knowledge only, if you explore from your end, it will be more interactive and